Welcome to another Sandwich Chamber Spotlight. My name is Jay Patikas. I am the Sandwich Chamber Executive Director. Today we are here with legendary woodcarver Doug Amidon in his new location at 91 Route 6A here in Sandwich. How you doing, Doug?
Very well, thank you.
All right, so you've got a pretty big history in town. Can you talk a little bit about like how long you've been involved in woodcarving and what got you started?
I started fairly early as a young man, and when I got out of college, I came down to the Cape in '67. I taught school in Wareham and Bourne for a total of 5 years, and at the end of that, I decided to do the woodcarving full time.
Now, where was your original studio? I know you used to be located on 130, but where was your original studio? Where did you start?
In '67, we lived in a house right next to the Sagamore Inn. It's
Okay.
an old 1700s house, and had an outbuilding in the back that I used for a shop. So we were there 3 years, and then bought in Sandwich on Main Street, 139 Main, and we're there for 20 years.
Wow.
So
And you moved there to Route 130? Is that where?
then the shop was on Route 130 up until about a year ago, and that was sold, and we purchased this property here.
Yeah, and it's a twofold here for your property. You've got the Amidon woodcarving in one area, and we're sitting in the beautiful Hilltop gallery.
Well, it's 3 areas actually, because we do our fabrication here, and of course the gallery's here, and it's also my residence.
Oh.
So
I didn't want to get into the resident part.
we got a pretty full agenda here.
That's great. Now, going back a little bit, what is it about the wood carving? I mean, I know when you go through college and you're trying to find your way in what you're going to do for employment, you picked a very rare employment in wood carving. What is it about wood carving that made it something that you wanted to do?
That was probably a pretty early implant from my father, who was interested in the circus. And there was a lot of carving on some of the circus wagons and so forth. And so as a kid, I saw a lot of that, and we had woodworking tools around. So one thing led to another, and that's all I've done.
Now, you run the gamut of wood products, correct? As far as you do some signs, you do some figures, which are in the gallery. Talk a little bit about some of the products you've created over the years.
The backbone of the business has always been the sign business, because it's a very functional and necessary product. But the sculptural stuff is what I really like to do, and both life-size figures or fish, whales, just stuff from New England. And,
now, I know it seems like the Cape is an area where the signs are really popular, where you go into more industrial cities and they've got all regular signs. But here in the Cape especially, you see a lot, especially Sandwich, you see a lot of wooden signs. So you must do a lot of business over the Cape, I would imagine.
oh, most of it's on
Yeah.
the Cape, but we're fortunate because we have so many visitors here that the exposure is to a pretty wide audience, and we send stuff all over the country.
That's great. Now, as far as like this Indian or some kind of figures like that, what are we talking about, like a time frame? How long does it take you to take, I don't know, is it a tree stump, or what is it that do you take the whole tree, or how does it work as far as how you construct these things?
All right, basically, if you use a full log, the full circumference of a log, the shrinkage occurs around the rings, and so it'll have to crack to the center. So for a carving, you'd preferably use only half a log or a quarter of the log. And for some of the larger pieces, like the Sagasta Indians, they're hollowed from the back, so that it's like putting a crack in the back, and that can open and close as the wood changes dimension, but the front stays integral. It doesn't have to split because there's no stress there.
And what does that take for time for, I mean?
I never put a clock on it, so it's
I mean, we talking like a couple days, or I'd like to get some kind of idea from how much work it takes for some of these.
Well, the total process for a log would be in excess of a year. Oh, simply because you'd have to get most of the moisture content out slowly. And like I said, in the case of a full log, I would split the back initially so it doesn't have to crack. And so start to finish, a piece might take 4 or 5 years, but a lot of that is just waiting time for the wood to season and dry and so forth.
So it's not like what you see sometimes when you see wood carvers that are carving up stuff like right in front of your eyes. There's a lot of waiting involved. It's not just, you know, cutting down a tree and carving. You have to wait too because the tree is, I mean, what is it? It's wetter and you can't use it once you cut it down, or?
Well, it's until the wood is acclimated to the non-growing situation. It's got to get rid of a lot of water, and so it changes dimension and it does things. One of the things about wood now is most of it is baked in kilns to dry it because it's fast, and it makes wood brittle. But the wood that I use preferably is a log that's been air dried over time, and the wood stays supple and shears very nicely. So it's worth the wait, but it takes some time.
Do you have any favorites in your many years of wood carving that you can hang your hat on? Some of the figures or signs that you've created that you're most especially proud of?
Oh, I like the figure carvings. I have one here of Ben Franklin, which I'm proud of, and a few cigar store Indians and a figurehead. Those are the probably the most challenging projects, and definitely a lot of fun.
Okay. I know we're going to talk to Kim Arthur a little later, who's in charge of the gallery, but talk a little bit about the Hilltop Gallery as far as what the idea came from to create this beautiful space here on 91 Route 6A.
Basically, I've had a gallery of sorts for quite a while, but this building was just special, and it really has a presence. So it took a while to make everything happen and purchase it, but now it's a great place to live, work, and display our stuff.
So you don't have to go too far when it's snowing, pretty much, right? Just downstairs?
No, the winter commute is pretty easy, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else I'm missing? Anything else you want people to know? I know that you've got, you talk about your signs, which is predominantly the wood carving business, you would say? Besides the figures?
That's been the commercial backbone of it. But the stuff I like to do is a little bit more elaborate than most of the sign work. But the people should come by. The grounds are beautiful, and the building's got a presence. It was.
It's a historic building. I mean,
it was built by the engineer on the canal. It's a Gustav Stickley design. He was a designer turn of the century in the Chicago area, and the house was shipped out here in boxcars and put up right here.
Now, someone told me that he built it because he wanted to be close to the canal, but the canal moved.
There was a period of time where I guess land speculation in Sandwich went crazy, because the thought was that the canal would come through on this side of Town Neck.
Okay.
And they went on the other side of Town Neck, so there was that. But
there would have been waterfront views here, huh? Instead, you got beautiful landscaping.
From the porch, before the trees got up, because that was all pasture out there. There was no residences at all, and he could watch the ships coming in at the entrance of the canal before the trees grew up.
Isn't there another building outside that's called like the kitchen, or something that's another historical building in town?
No, this speculation is that the outbuilding here was the summer kitchen, because at the turn of the century, anybody of any means whatsoever would be cooking not in their house, because you couldn't get rid of the heat. No air conditioning and stuff, so their stoves would be in an outside kitchen.
So they had a separate place just for the kitchen area.
And I suppose this man would have had the means to have that kind of a setup.
So what are you hoping with the Hilltop Gallery? What are you hoping it takes you? I mean, obviously you have a beautiful historic place here to show off your stuff. You've got a lot of different things between signs and figures and beautiful places to sit down like this. What are you hoping for the Hilltop Gallery? Just as a place to...
Oh, I
all your
hope
stuff
that
together?
they can be an integral part of the community, and we'd like to have a charitable aim for the stuff we do. And the grounds are perfect for outside activities, so we'll see where it goes, but there are a lot of possibilities.
As far as the future, I mean, what are you talking about as far as outside? Are you talking about hosting stuff, or what is it as far as your aim for the future for the outdoors?
We think that for light entertainment, there's enough parking for that, and the front lawn is beautiful. It's almost an amphitheater by itself, so a movie, or an outside movie, or musical entertainment, a lot of things could be done there, and we'll see how it goes.
Great. I think we've covered everything. Did I miss anything?
Nothing I
Anything
can
else that
think
comes
of.
to mind? Okay, great. Well, again, we're here with Doug Amidon of Amidon Woodcarving and Hilltop Gallery here at 91 Route 6A in Sandwich. Thanks a lot, Doug.
My pleasure.
And we are here with Kim Arthur, who is the gallery director
Gallery director
of Hilltop
yep.
Gallery here at 91 Route 6A. And we wanted to talk a little bit more about the gallery. I know we just talked extensively to Doug, but we wanted to kind of get a little bit more of a feel of what's represented in the gallery.
This is, other than this being an absolute spectacular place, it showcases some of his unbelievable pieces that he's done, obviously from scratch. But we have birds to fish to the big Indians to the peeps to little things that can leave. We have some other artists that are showcasing here, from photography to McDermott glass, and there'll be other artists coming in. But some of his most wonderful pieces are right here to see, and little things that can really showcase in a perfect house.
Man, it's such a beautiful property.
It is. And then we're looking to bring in other things to do outside. We could do weddings to
Yeah, it is a
different
beautiful
things, because it's such a spectacular property. But his work, we also have some pillows that are here for sale that Nancy Cormett did that are just absolutely perfect.
So is
for
it
the right
basically
home.
everything in here is for sale? Is that how it
Everything's
works?
for sale.
Mhm.
Everything is ready to go. It's just a beautiful home that is set up like a gallery. And he works out front, downstairs, and he also lives on the property. So it's spectacular at that course. But the home showcases the stuff just remarkable. I mean, from the mermaid to the Indian, and it'll look perfect in your own home.
And what is your history?
My history is I worked in a gallery down south and just hooked up with Doug, and we hit it off, and I'm just trying to help him get some business in here
Great.
to pull in.
Okay, and what are the hours? Or
We're here every day 10 to 3. And of course, if the sign's not there, come on down and knock on the door. Somebody's more than happy.
he might be having lunch, so you can,
Yeah, but he'd love to share it with you, and just come right in and take a peek at what we've got, because it's beautiful. It really is some
Awesome.
nice stuff. Can I show you anything that
Yeah,
you'd like to
we
see?
absolutely.
There's-
Well, I know we're going to take them around and,
Yes,
and show some of the pieces.
Remarkable stuff that would look great in any home. It's all classic stuff that is true Cape Cod, that is timeless, and that's what people want. You
That's
don't
right.
want a machine-made piece of carving. This is done by somebody's raw hand. So
Yeah, because this is kind of tucked away, so we want to make sure we get
Yeah.
people here. Because
The
once they
signs
get
are down,
here,
yep.
yeah, it's a beautiful.
you don't want to
spot.
leave. I mean, we've had people come in and they just plant themselves and they hate to leave. But we've had young kids come in that are carvers. That Doug's been, give them certain mitts so that they don't hurt themselves when they start carving. But there's a lot of stuff to do here and see. So please come on down. It's a great place.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kim Arthur, who's the gallery director here at Hilltop Gallery, 91 Route 6A. Thank you.